What's good, everybody? It's the Clown with Cap Show. This is a huge offseason for the Lakers, especially for LeBron James. We understand what happened this past season. LeBron missed the playoffs, which is unreal to me. But look, what should the Los Angeles Lakers organization do for LeBron James moving forward? Because we understand the contract's ending soon for LeBron, and I think LeBron's going to end his career where it all started in Cleveland, and I just think that's where it should end for LeBron. But for the Lakers, what should they do with AD? I think AD this year, if they do keep him, he needs to win MVP this year. There's no excuses for AD. He's young. He's talented. My whole thing is with Anthony Davis is he's always getting hurt. I don't understand why. I think if I'm a trainer of his, I put him in the weight room. He's got to get bigger. He's got to get stronger. And I think that's his weakness part of his game. I mean, you guys got Giannis that's improving year in, year out, working harder. And you can kind of tell that. I just think AD, a lot of it's more flash than anything. And I think AD this season, this is the biggest season of his career where it's like, what's AD's going to show up? It's going to be that last year's AD where he's always banged up, getting beat down when he's in the paint. Just all the bad things that has happened to AD right in the past year. And I just think he's got to turn it around. And if I'm AD, I'm thinking MVP this year. That's what you have to think. You have to think that I'm going to play every single game this season and win MVP and make the playoffs, be number one seed in the playoffs. That's what the mentality Anthony Davis has to go, but I just don't think that's his mentality. We understand LeBron, he's a champion, four-time NBA champion. I think LeBron has to win at least one more championship to even be in that conversation with MJ. We always hear about it. Who's better, MJ or LeBron? I think, obviously, MJ's still the GOAT, still 6-0 in NBA Finals. Okay, hasn't even seen a Game 7 in NBA Finals, so that's my GOAT right now. But a lot of people in the generation that we live in today, especially the teenagers today, they didn't really understand what Michael Jordan had to do to get those championship rings. They didn't understand he won 3, then he went to go play baseball, pursue that, then he came back and won 3 more. So, LeBron never really did that thing. It would have been great if LeBron went to play for the Dallas Cowboys one season in NFL, which he probably could. But, LeBron's taking a different path. But, people hate on LeBron so much. I think he's the most hated athlete in the world. I really do. People just hate LeBron, and they have many reasons too. The pouting, looking at the refs, whatever. But I think it all started when LeBron went to the Miami Heat, and that really started the way the NBA is today. People wanting to play with their best friends or team up for championships. We didn't see that back in the day. We didn't see that in the 70s and 80s and 90s where, MJ or Larry and Magic would team up. No, that was unheard of, dude. They would never team up together. They were just super competitive, but it's a different age for basketball. We understand it's getting more soft, which I don't think is good for the game. But I just think for LeBron James this year, you got to win a championship. We saw what Golden State has already done with Draymond, Steph, and Clay. I mean, they've tied LeBron now. They have 4 championship rings, and yes, I understand they got Kevin Durant. He got Kevin Durant for 2, the 2 seasons they won. But at the end of the day, I just think LeBron. We missed LeBron this past season in the playoffs. We really did. It just wasn't the same. It didn't really feel like an NBA Finals to me without seeing LeBron there. It really did. It just kind of felt different. It really did. So that's why we should never take LeBron James for granted, is what I'm saying. We will never see a LeBron James again. A guy built like 6'10", built like an NFL player that can dunk on anybody, that can get to the basket whenever he wants. He can post up on anybody. He can really guard anybody. The only person obviously you can't guard today is probably Giannis. Guys who are like 7'1", okay? Like that's a mismatch. Yes, I get that. But LeBron can really play any position. That's why I think LeBron's our generation GOAT right now. I think he's number 2 right behind MJ because LeBron makes his teammates better. He's not a selfish player. He hits the open man when he's open. He plays like a point guard, draws the double team and kicks out. Now, a lot of people say, well, that's a bad thing as well when the game's on the line. We've even seen in the past where LeBron James passes it out instead of shooting the game winner. And yes, I do sometimes hate on that too, where it's like, why didn't LeBron James just shoot the game winner and take the game in his own hands instead of dishing off to the open man? But it's a right basketball play. If you think about basketball and understand the game of basketball, that's the better IQ play. I'm double teamed and there's a guy open in the corner. I'm going to hit him every time. Even though he hasn't hit a three all game, I'm still going to hit him in the corner for the better shot. And that's what LeBron James does. Now, on the flip side is we could say LeBron James is still clutch. We know this. And people who say he's not clutch are just really true haters that don't understand the game of basketball. LeBron James hit game winner after game winner. The only time that I've seen LeBron James come up short, obviously, was the 2011 Finals, which they should have beat the Dallas Mavericks. No doubt about it. They had the better team, better skills, but at the end of the day, they lost that. They gave that one away. And I do think LeBron should have 5 rings already right now. That's the crazy thing about it. And we look at LeBron James' whole career. 2007 brought that Cleveland Cavaliers team to the NBA Finals playing the Spurs. Who was on that team? Delonte West now? Is that who you guys are saying? Delonte West, dude? Where's he at now, dude? He's struggling, dude. He's homeless now. LeBron James was playing with a bunch of homeless dudes, okay, when he brought that team. Okay, who else was on there? Anderson Varejao? Dude, he's a role player. There was no stars to help LeBron in Cleveland when he first got there, and that's why I think he went to the Miami Heat, went with D-Wade, and D-Wade taught him that. And then we saw him win in 2016, the epic comeback, the only team to ever do it, down 3-1. Just so much greatness of LeBron. I just think this year for the Lakers organization, they got to make some moves for LeBron James. If LeBron James wants Russell Westbrook out of there, get him out. Do whatever LeBron wants to do. So I think, I really think they should keep Westbrook. That's my opinion, unless they can get Kyrie. If they can get Kyrie this offseason, make a trade for Kyrie and LeBron to reunite. Look, I think they're going to win again. They've already won together, like I said, back in 2016. And really, I don't understand why Kyrie didn't want to play with LeBron. And I think Kyrie's kicking himself now, realizing, wow, dude, I thought I could win a championship without LeBron James. How ignorant was Kyrie of thinking that? What's Kyrie done since, dude? They got what? Did they get swept by the Boston Celtics, dude? And they have Kevin Durant. It's just like, what, dude? Like, if LeBron got swept in the playoffs, dude, you would never hear the end of it. But, hey, it's Kyrie and Kevin Durant. They get the pass, okay? They get that pass. But I just think it's crazy. But I think for Anthony Davis, he's a wild card for the Lakers. He really is. I don't know what to expect. I don't know if he's going to have a great season or not. I was really thinking wanting to trade Anthony Davis for some other players. I just think Anthony Davis, so injury prone, just doesn't show up all the time. So I don't know. He's definitely a wild card. This offseason, the summer leagues is great for the Lakers right now. They got some great players like Sharif O'Neal, Shaquille O'Neal's son. He went undrafted, played for LSU just like his dad. I think this kid, he's got a lot of potential. He's really skinny. He's not built like Shaq. Nobody was really built like Shaq, but I think Sharif, dude, he's the new kind of generation power forward center, right? Really skinny, quick, explosive, can get to the basket. I think he needs to work more on his jumper, but I think the Lakers should keep Sharif O'Neal. And then they got Scottie Pippen Jr., his son, playing on the Lakers summer league team. I think he's more of a role player. But when it boils down to, I think the Lakers organization should keep Sharif O'Neal. I think only good things. He's young, super fresh in the NBA. I think if I'm the Lakers, I keep Sharif O'Neal. You got size here. You got ability. You got talent, dude. And if Anthony Davis does go down, you got him to fill in those shoes. So I think for the Lakers organization to be able to build from Sharif O'Neal, dude, I think this is great, dude. And I think for LeBron and Westbrook and AD, they should want that. They should invite him in, dude. They should really train him from day one, And I think we've seen how Sharif plays, dude. He can dunk really on anybody, too. They're so explosive, so athletic. So I think that's what the Lakers need. They need another body that can get boards, that can get that can shoot threes from time to time, that can play great defense, get blocks. Don't give up second chance opportunities for points. So I think that's the type of player that the Lakers need, is somebody like Sharif O'Neal, somebody to crash the boards, do some of the dirty work, but also bang out on other people. So I think that this is huge for the Lakers. And also they signed Thomas Bryant, I believe, to a 1-year deal. You guys remember Thomas Bryant? He played for IU for a couple years. He was a good big man, but he was kind of slow on his feet. I think, his feet are kind of slow, but he can shoot a three a time or two. But I think for Thomas Bryant, it's more of getting LeBron James and Westbrook more space in the open floor. He's a big body. They can throw it down to him. I think this is a big deal for the Lakers. Thomas Bryant, he's no joke. Yes, he battled an injury a couple years ago, but when I saw him play at IU, I was like, yes, he's an NBA player, but nothing really stuck out to me and said, oh, he's going to be a superstar or one day in the league. I thought, maybe he could play 5, maybe 10 years in the NBA just because his big body. He can get boards, he can score, but, his shooting's not too great, even though I do think he can shoot threes from time to time. But, Thomas Bryant, I like this signing. I do if I'm the Lakers. I just think the Lakers need another three-point shooter, somebody that could score 20-plus on any given night. That's what the Lakers need, and they're kind of lacking that. They need more point guard play. Russell Westbrook, I just sometimes, he does make some boneheaded decisions, but they need a good backup for him if they're going to keep Westbrook. I don't know. Westbrook, we've seen in the past, him and KD, didn't mesh. I think, this past year was crazy to me that the Lakers didn't even touch the playoffs, dude. Like, with LeBron James and Westbrook, I thought for sure they would, but they were battling injuries. I just think the Lakers, they got to stay healthy all season. They got to play better defense than they did last year. Last year was definitely a pitiful year for the Los Angeles Lakers, dude. Just the year before that, they won the bubble year in 2020. And so many people said that year doesn't count, blah, blah, blah. It's just the narrative for LeBron and the Lakers. It's crazy, dude. They always want to discredit LeBron James' greatness, but it's just sad to see, really, because LeBron, I think, prime years left, I would say he's got about 5 prime years of dominance. I really do. And some will be like, well, Cap, that's a little too much. I don't, dude. We have to understand LeBron, he spends a lot of money on his body on the offseason, getting better, getting more healthy. So I think body-wise, LeBron, he's not like a 37-year-old. I think he's more like a 32, 31, maybe even 30, the way he treats his body. It's the new age now, dude. We got better nutrition, better recovery centers, dude. It's just so much that LeBron James puts into his body, which is good for him, right? I think for the long term, it's going to only help LeBron. But like I said, I think he's got five good, great years of dominance left. I really do. But I just think the Lakers, they need another scorer. This is not going to cut it, dude. I don't think the Lakers are going to win a championship just with the roster they got right now. I mean, yes, they added Sharif. I get that. Thomas Bryant, those guys, they need another scorer, dude. They need somebody else. I just wish, a couple years ago, the Lakers would have made a play at Damian Lillard. I think if Damian Lillard and LeBron James right now and Anthony Davis were playing together, dude, they would win it, dude, no doubt. Damian Lillard, he's the complete point guard. I think he's the top 3 point guard in the NBA. Actually, he's number 2. Him and Steph are my top point guards. Steph Curry and Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard's so underrated, dude. Why he's so underrated is because the organization in Portland, it's not a big town market. It's really small town. I just think he's so underrated where he does it all. Damian Lillard can shoot threes. He can get to the basket. He facilitates for his teammates. He's a great point guard, great IQ for basketball. So I think Damian Lillard, dude, he should, I don't know. I think it's a long shot for the Lakers to get him now, but they should have got him a year or two ago before Westbrook even showed up. I would take Damian Lillard over Russell Westbrook any day of the week. You give me that all the time. Now, I love Russell Westbrook. He's got the passion. He's got the fire. I just think there's 2 things that Russell Westbrook is lacking is shooting ability, right, and IQ of basketball. The game, so we've seen it in the past where he does make some boneheaded plays late game where it's like, dude, he didn't even have to do that. There was a play in the NBA Finals back when they played the Heat. I think this was Game 3 where he fouled Mario Chalmers with like 20 seconds left, and the shot clock was like 10 seconds, dude. And I'm thinking, why? Now we got to go back, reset the shot clock to 14. It just didn't make sense to me. Just little plays like that start to add up. I mean, Westbrook, he was so young then. Okay, I'll give him a pass there, but we've seen it time and time again. I just think, that just comes down to hard work and just looking at learning from your mistakes. I think Westbrook can get it back. I really do. Now, if they keep Westbrook, can this iconic trio collaborate? Can they work together? Can they? I don't know. I mean, we saw last year they didn't. It was a really disappointing season for the Lakers. I don't know if they're going to keep all 3, Anthony Davis, LeBron, and Westbrook, but if they do end up trading Westbrook, they need to get Kyrie or Damian Lillard. They should not trade Westbrook for somebody other than those guys. Let's be honest here. They need a true point guard, dude. So if they do keep Westbrook, I was saying trade Anthony Davis for a package deal. Get a shooter. Get another big guy. You already got Thomas Bryant coming in as a backup. I just think they need more. They need more there. So big year for the Lakers. We already seen the offseason make some crazy moves, but what's next for the Golden State Warriors? After winning their 4th championship, they're definitely 100% a dynasty with Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, those guys, Steve Kerr. I mean, dude, they really started this. They built this program up. we look at Golden State and say, well, they didn't buy their championships, dude. They started in 2009 when they drafted Steph Curry 7th overall, which is crazy as Minnesota Timberwolves took 2 point guards before Steph Curry. Isn't that wild? Steph Curry went after Minnesota Timberwolves took 2 point guards. I don't understand that, dude. That's crazy, dude. They took Johnny Flynn before Steph Curry. Yeah, exactly. Where's Johnny Flynn now? Look at Steph Curry, one of the greats. It's crazy to me, right? But, I think they'll do great things as well. I think they're the team to beat. I really do. I think anybody out west, the Golden State Warriors are the team to beat. Same thing with the Lakers. You got to beat Golden State. And I think LeBron James understands that. I think LeBron needs better help. He understands to beat Steph Curry and the Warriors, you have to play near a perfect game. It's not easy because Steph, they'll hit threes on you every time. Yeah, you can do your fancy dunks. You can get your 2-point shots, but, the Warriors are going to hit their threes. And threes are more than twos, and that's what they do. They live and die by the three, and they live by all season long into the finals, and that's what the Warriors do. So I think the Warriors are still a team to beat, and I wouldn't even be mad if people threw a lot of money on the Warriors to repeat. I wouldn't, dude. I think in 2023, it does make sense that the Warriors could possibly win it again. Really. It could be, honestly, a rematch from last year. Boston, it's a long shot, but Boston's really improving this offseason. The moves they're making, getting great talent in there. But I just think for the Lakers and LeBron James, you got to get more people for him. You got to. And LeBron, his greatness, people will minimize it all they want. And when LeBron James does retire, they're going to still talk crap about him, still say crazy things about him. But at the end of the day, LeBron James will go in the Hall of Fame. No doubt about it. He will go in a lot of people's top 5. And to me, he's in my top 2 already. He's number 2 right now. If I could name all the NBA players right now, I'd still got to put LeBron James talent-wise. When he first got in the league, he was 18 years old, dude. Fresh out of high school, dude. Like a lot of these guys who are coming in, dude, they go to college, which the restrictions and rules have changed since LeBron James has come into the NBA back in 2003. But still, dude, to be able to do that, to be able to just go from high school to the NBA, that jump is just insane, dude. A lot of people go Division 2, then they go to Division 1, dude. And it's just so much. Like LeBron James just went to the top, dude. Directly, dude. Like LeBron James' talent. We knew that in high school that, hey, this kid LeBron James is no joke. That's why NBA players like Allen Iverson were showing up to his games like, dude, this guy's the next big thing. He really is. And I think LeBron James lived up to the hype. Absolutely. And the crazy thing is his career's not over yet. He's still got time, dude. He really does. Like I said, I think he's still got 5 good years. There is a possibility that LeBron James could win 2 more NBA championships and tie Michael Jordan and tie 6. I think that's what should be his goal right now. If I'm LeBron James, I'm saying I need at least 2 more rings before I retire from the NBA. I need at least 2. I gotta get at least 1, dude. 1 more, get 5. Tie Kobe, tie Tim Duncan, those guys. I gotta get at least 1 more ring. But at the end of the day, if I'm LeBron, I'm saying I gotta go at 6, dude. I gotta at least tie MJ. So in that conversation, when it does pop up, when he's old, in 50 years from now, they're saying, well, LeBron James, he does have 6 NBA championships just like Michael Jordan. But obviously Michael did it way differently, and LeBron James has lost a lot in the NBA Finals. He really has. And to me, and I don't always put that on LeBron. I don't put the 2007 loss on LeBron. I will put the 2011 loss on LeBron. But will I put the 2014 loss on LeBron? No. LeBron James showed up that series in 2014 when they did lose to the Spurs. Obviously, they beat him the year before, but, that's all LeBron James does, dude. He shows up every single time, dude. He really does. Obviously, the 2011's a different story, but he learned from that, and that made LeBron James who he is today. That failure that LeBron James had in 2011, he needed that. He needed that failure to overcome what he overcame in 2016 down 3-1. That's what LeBron James needed. He needed those bad breaks. He needed that back in 2020 to win for the Lakers. So I think this offseason shoots for the Lakers now. If the Lakers end up getting Kyrie, I think, dude, it's over with. I think if they really do get Kyrie, which I think is a long shot, why would Kyrie want to come back now? Originally, you wanted to leave LeBron and say, I want to go on my own and win on my own. Now, all of a sudden, the narrative's like, oh, I can't play with LeBron again, dude. Heck yeah. But, 4 or 5 years ago, the narrative was so different. It was, oh, no, I can do it on my own now. It's just funny how it goes, right? The narrative changes year after year. But I think if Kyrie really looks in the mirror and says, look, do I want to win another championship What's my best way? Is it playing with Kevin Durant or LeBron James? It's LeBron James every time, dude. Nothing to take away from Kevin Durant. He's a great player. I just think overall LeBron's a better passer. He's a better defender than Kevin Durant, and he makes his teammates better around him. So that's why I choose LeBron over Kevin Durant all day, every day. Now, scoring-wise, to get a bucket, yes, I'll take Kevin Durant anytime. But overall, I got to go with LeBron in the Lakers offseason. This is huge. And I think for the Lakers, keep Sharif O'Neal. He's the future there. So I think it's a bright future for the Lakers, but they still need to add some more pieces for LeBron and company. I cannot wait, baby, for the NBA season. LeBron James is about to win his 5th NBA championship, baby. It's the Cloudwood Cavs show. Let's go!